What's good, everybody? My name is Louis. This is the podcast. I'm joined by a very talented man. Please introduce yourself.
Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm Nathan, aka Baker, and I'm frontman of Values. How we all doing today?
Yeah, man. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, man. Not bad. The sun's shining. Got the full week off, so
nice,
chilling, man.
Nice. So please tell us about your band. So you mentioned they're called Values. Where you from? What sort of style?
Yeah, so I'm in a metalcore band called Values. We're from Leeds. Big, heavy tunes. We just released our debut album, Divinity. You can check that out on Spotify.
Yeah, links will be down below.
Music videos up on YouTube and that. And yeah, man, check us out if you like big tunes, big metal vibes.
Yeah, I do suggest everyone check them out. It's heavy, and it's a good live show as well. It's like a real positive show. This might be like, it might sound rude, but like the music you make doesn't suit how positive and how happy you are. Like,
yeah, a lot of people say this to me, man. It's when it comes to writing songs, like writing is such a good outlet for, like releasing those negative vibes, that you experience in day-to-day life, But unfortunately, all five of us, have suffered previously with poor mental health. And I always found that writing about it was just a really good way to, get it off of my chest and make myself because when you're suffering from mental health issues, there's always that weight on your chest, and, you always feel like kind of trapped. And I just feel like writing, you can get it off of your chest, and then in turn that helps other people as well, because people listen to the songs, read the lyrics, like, oh, I feel like that too. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then it's like the polar opposite when I get up on the stage, because there's no better feeling than playing music and seeing, just being in front of people. And so as you can tell, and as from your podcast last week, when I'm up on stage, this big smile does not leave my face.
Yeah, it is. And the stuff you say, it's like, we got to be nice to each other, all that stuff. It was real cool to see, really, because it doesn't go hand in hand in the scene at all.
Yeah, I mean, we tried to when we first started, obviously we tried to, fit in with that whole scene, the whole heavy vibes, the
arrogant, ignorance thing,
Yeah, but it's just like, again, like, no disrespect to, that scene, everybody's doing their own thing with the music. But I just feel like, certain scenes, it's very like high schooly, very cliquey, very like, almost feels like bully mentality. You've got to, do certain things to fit in. And, if you like certain people, you don't get fit in with certain places. And I'm just, my thing is love everybody, show positivity to everybody, you know what I mean? And the whole foundations of metal was built on community. So I just,
And it's better to be yourself, man. Like, be real about things. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly, man. Do you know what I mean? Just be yourself. Like, I'm not bothered if I'm liked or disliked. Like, I like everybody. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Fuck it. Yeah, why not?
I want everybody to have a good time. I don't want no negativity in front of me. So if you come to a value show, you're gonna get loved. You're gonna get respected. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, bro. That's not bad. It's not. What am I saying? It's a fucking great attitude to have. You can't go wrong with being happy. Like. So, your new album's come out. Tell us about it. What's it called? How many tracks? Who's it released through?
So it's Divinity, and it's 10 tracks. It's released through Modern Empire, and it is literally just a journey through mental health. It covers the 10. So we kind of did a spin. So you've the 7 deadly sins. We kind of did a spin on that, of the 10 virtues of being a human being. So obviously you've got temperance, honesty, equity, patience, wit. And so we just basically use these to prove that, like, basically just writing songs that trying to be perfect in a world that isn't so perfect, and like realizing that you don't have to be perfect.
That's a good message. So this isn't your debut album, is it?
It depends how you want to look at it. So we've got 2 EPs that came out, because they were only 8 tracks. That counts as EP or an LP.
Yeah.
Because this is 10 tracks, that like counts as an album. But we don't really, as much as the fans love some of the songs off it, we don't really count Recovery, because Recovery was a very weird time for the band. So Broken Nation was our debut thing that we wrote, and we were very happy and proud of it. But then between releasing Broken Nation and touring it, whilst we were writing Recovery, we lost our drummer. There was a lot of we were all suffering really badly with our mental health, like really badly. Like there was a point where we didn't think Values were going to be anymore, and Recovery was just kind of like a rushed. Recovery. We don't feel like Recovery was our best work. Like there's some good bangers on there, but Recovery just really reminds us of a bad time for us. And plus, as well, we lost one of our friends. Unfortunately, took his own life, and so again, Recovery just reminds us a lot of that. So we kind of like tend to put the Recovery songs on the back burner. However, Divinity is our first full length release that we really gave our all to. Again, it should have come out sooner.
But the world was on pause, bro.
Yeah, because of COVID, like there was an absolute massive gap between Recovery and Divinity. So we were sat on Divinity for, I want to say, 2 years before it actually came out.
Fucking hell.
Obviously, because of lockdown and everything, we just, pushed it back as much as we could. And then, like I said, we got signed to Modern Empire. So, like, well, we have to release this now. So, but we're currently in the studio writing our next EP. Because we've been listening to the fans, everybody's saying we really like the breakdowns. There's not enough of them on Divinity. So believe me when I say we have listened to you for this new EP.
Yeah, you heard it here, guys. So you just mentioned about Recovery and you kind of put it on the back burner. Sometimes that's not a bad thing to have, like, because it's like that. There's your escape. If you want to go listen to it, go listen to it. But we aren't going to play it for you. We're going to play something for everyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there will come a time probably where a couple of those songs resurface, because obviously, ironically, one of the songs on Recovery, it's got over 200,000 streams.
Oh wow!
But it's just like, again, that album it really, represents a very dark place for us as a band, and the things we were
it's not like you don't believe in the songs. It just reminds you of a bad time rather than bad music. It's not bad music.
That's just it. And we just feel as though like the songs that we do play off Broken Nation, they're the ones that have been fan favorites since we first started as a band. And like I said, all the stuff that we've now done on Divinity, we feel that's our best embodiment of work and what we want to represent us when we play live. Like we just feel as though some of the songs on Recovery, it's it doesn't really fit in with the set anymore, and it's not really the direct, like, again, it just all boils down to that was a really bad time for the band, and it's just we're just trying to move on from that. Don't get me wrong, I'm very proud of what we did there, but I just feel as though Divinity is our best embodiment of work.
So when I can't remember when I saw you guys live. It was in Salisbury. You were on a mini tour, I think. So
Salisbury might have actually been our first tour with Thrones.
So what happened? I don't know if anyone who's watched the Conor McKinley episode. You were like
the Salisbury show when we played with them.
Had a gap.
Olympic.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I remember that show. I love that. That was a well cool venue. Like we were sat in the pub all day, and then we were there for ages.
Well, So I don't really know exactly what happened, because like, did you have a gap and someone pulled out of the show?
Yeah, so we had a gap in the tour, and I can't remember where we played the day before, but we were down south, and so we were gearing up to go home when we'd woke up that morning, and then we got a call off our manager, like, "You've been offered a show tonight in Salisbury, do you want it?" And we were like, "Well, yeah, we definitely want it. We ain't going to turn down that show." So they're like, right, this is the venue details, this is where it is. It was probably about maybe 2 hours from where we were. So we travelled there, and then, like I said, we were literally just sat in this like nice little pub, having a few beers. And then, like I said, next stop Olympus came in, and then it turns out that another band had already pulled out, so there was only us two playing. We were, and like I said, because of the location of where we were, we didn't, we just expected it to be one of them quite quiet shows. And then Doors came, and then there were just more people there than we could have imagined. Like I said, obviously because we were on first, we were like, "Oh, this is their hometown show. We need to, we need to put on a show for these people." Like I said, we just had such a good time. And then next up, Olympus absolutely smashed it as well. I well enjoyed watching them afterwards.
I'm very good friends with Conor. Like, he's one of the nicest guys in the world.
Yeah, he's absolutely lovely, mate. I couldn't fault him. Tall dude as well, and it were a very low venue. So.
He won't go on the stage. He like stands on the floor. So my point, what I was going to say is, this is no disrespect to Next Up Olympus, but you, like, because it was such late, that's why you opened. You guys should never have been supporting Next Up Olympus. It's like,
but again, when it comes to shows, like, you know, we just love to play shows. Like, again, it was quite again, that tour was kind of before everything, like, sort of like blew up for us, because everything's kind of happened really quick for us. Because off the back of that tour, we came back and we were in a bit of a rut. We were waiting to go and record Divinity, I think it was. And then, because this was like, what, the year before lockdown? So we were waiting to go record Divinity. And then, like I said, the months went by. We didn't really have anything in the pipeline. And we'd been trying to get the Ice Nine Kills show in Leeds. So we wanted to play Leeds. And so we'd asked her, but we got no response. And then one day, maybe I think it was about 2 weeks before the tour, if that, don't quote me on that. So maybe 2 weeks before the tour, just for argument's sake, we got a phone call from our manager. He says, "Good news, boys. You know, you wanted to play the Ice Nine Kill show in Leeds?" We're like, "Yeah." You're like, "You can play it, but on one condition." We're like, "Right, okay, what's the condition?" It was like, "You've got to open the full tour." So we were all there like, "Whoa.
That's what sort of condition? That's not
stood there, stood around like thinking that we're gonna have to pay on or something like that. You have to do abroad. We're like, "No, you've got to do the full tour." So bearing in mind, we're 2 weeks out, we're completely out of merch. Like, none of us have got any sort of reliable vehicle. So within the space of 2 weeks, we had to sort a van out, sort a full print of merch out, and then gear ourselves up to play the biggest shows of our lives. And I'll always remember that, because the first show of the tour, I remember being nervous as hell, because, trust me, there's no feeling like seeing that many people there and going from playing, like, you know, shows like we play with Next Stop Olympus to the next run of shows being like sold out academies and whatnot. It's just like, honestly, mate, it's absolutely crazy. And I always remember being like, "Right, you guys go on and play the intro, then I'm going to run on and look like a cool vocalist." Well, I ran on and started doing my lines. I'm like, "Wait, I can't hear me. I hear myself. What's going on?" I'd not switched my wireless mic on, so I did half the first song with no bloody microphone. Oh, mate. But honestly, that tour, it just came out of nowhere, that tour. And then, like I said, once we finished that tour, we were halfway through that tour and we were trying to get Stein to Stay Sick, I think it was at the time. And obviously the Ice Nine Kills guys are like, "Oh, we, you know, Stay Sick have asked us, you know, what you like and, you know, if your music's good." And the Ice Nine Kills put in as a good word for us with Stay Sick. And then obviously Stay Sick fell through, and then now we're with Modern Empire. So that tour was unreal.
My point of that mini tour you did, and you covered that one show where, like, it was like that, to me, proved that you were in it for just fucking playing live music. But then it was like that you've answered my question in that bit. It's like, what was it like going from playing in front of 50 to 100 people to then fucking...
It would just, I'll tell you one story that will always resonate with me. And again, this stems from that first show. So bearing in mind, most we've ever played to was when we pretty much borderline sold out Key Club and when we play our hometown shows, right? Yeah. So that's most people we've probably ever played to. That first night that was sold out was 4 times the amount of people we'd ever played to. So we're there unloading gear, and there's already a line queuing around the block. It's like, it gives you them nostalgic vibes, like when you're 14 and you're going to see it, like,
that queue, yeah.
Bully for My Valentine, like, yeah, like, no way I was in that queue, and now I'm playing to these people. Anyway, so these people queue up, we play the show, they go absolutely mad for us. And I remember halfway through the set, when obviously I had a bit of a gap, boys were tuning up, I said, "Sir, who's heard of us before tonight?" You could have heard a penny drop, bro. And I'm like, "That's why you guys are fucking awesome." And then everybody went absolutely mad. So everybody loved the show. We sold quite a lot of merch that night. And I'll always remember when Ice Nine Kills finished playing, our merch desk was right by theirs. And a couple of times during the night, people tried to buy Ice Nine Kills merch from us. And so we said, "No, their merch desk isn't open until after play. You can buy Values merch if you want." A few of them did, a few of them didn't. Anyway, so Ice Nine Kills had finished, and the big queues are starting to buy their merch. And I saw 2 queues forming, one by our table, one by their table. So I was like, "Oh no, I'm going to have to go tell these people that this isn't the queue for Ice Nine Kills." So anyway, I walked up to this first person at the front of the queue, like, "Excuse me, I'm really sorry, but this isn't the queue for Ice Nine Kills." It was like, this guy, like, clearly was stood with his mum, like, "No, I just wanted to say that was absolutely great show. Can I have a picture with you?" I'm like, "Yeah, all right, then I'll have a picture with you. That's well cool, you know, proper heartwarming." Anyway, I went to go tell the second person that. Same thing again, you know, "Your show was awesome. Can I have a picture with you?" To cut a long story short, I literally spent the last 20 minutes in that queue of people taking pictures. They were all queuing up to have pictures, man. Like, it was just so heartwarming and so cool. Like, it's nothing like I've ever experienced before.
So lockdown is obviously, and the pandemic, whatever's put your should we say, music career on pause. Is this you what you're doing now? Like, is it full time? You guys are going to fucking
Yeah, well,
do
obviously, with nowadays, you can't just like, unless you are
unless you're
very, very
fucking
lucky.
massive. Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be a lot of capital goes into the band. So obviously, we've still all got full-time jobs. However, we're always like writing ideas, pumping stuff into the band. Like, we have a regular meeting every week to see like what's his next plans are. We've got a spreadsheet. So at the minute, it's kind of been a little bit of a blessing because, well, not I've been working through all lockdown, but the boys weren't working as much through lockdown.
Yeah.
Got to pump loads of stuff into this new EP that we've got coming. So we've just got our own little studio set going down so we can record demos. So it just makes the whole writing process so much better, because before it was like we'd take it to practice and we'd do it at practice, and then because we'd be so busy wrapped up in life, it was kind of like hard to like, really get a song together. Whereas now everything just connects so much better. We've got studio, we can do demos. Plus, as well, it's given one of the guitarists is like really got himself stuck into the marketing side of things.
Yeah.
So again, like, it's been a bit of a downside has obviously been not playing shows, not connecting with fans. But over lockdown, we've been able to learn, perfect our craft. I think my vocals have got better, which I'm going to showcase on this new album. We've stepped up a gear in terms of music. So when we do come back, we're going to come back with a bang.
Oh, that's good. So what got you into this? Who's like your influences and stuff? Not the band, just you. Then the band. Then you can answer about the band afterwards.
One of my biggest influences is Architects. Influences for me, probably A Day to Remember, Parkway Drive, Architects. Those are the bands that I came up on. Those are the bands that I'd go and see live and be like, wow, I want to be in a band. Counterparts, another influence of mine. While She Sleeps. So again, that that new era metalcore kind of vibes.
While She
Like,
Sleeps,
always
one of
been
my
my
favorite
thing.
bands.
While She Sleeps are awesome dudes. I remember smoking a suspicious cigarette with Loz Taylor on my 18th birthday outside cockpit. Yeah, man.
Don't worry. You can say what you want on it, but yeah.
All right, then I smoked a big doobie with Loz on my 18th birthday.
So at 2003, 2000 and the last one before lockdown. Yeah, they were on tour somewhere, and the vocalist couldn't get there. So the vocalist from Cancer Bats did their whole set. Like, I heard about that. And it was fucking mad. It was one of the best shows I've ever seen. Yeah, man.
But yeah, those are all my influences. And they've just always made me want to be in a band. And like I said, the whole band, all of us have all been in like smaller bands.
Yeah.
Can I tell this story? Yeah, I'm going to tell this story. So, for instance, our drummer was in a smaller band, and he was at the recording studio where we recorded Broken Nation, recording for his band. And there was a poster of us above where he was recording, and the producer was like, they need a drummer, and you're really good. You should try out for him. He was like, no, I'm all right, man. I'm in this band. Cut a long story short, I ended up leaving that band and joining us because we were, we perched him, so to speak.
Oh, that's not as bad as I thought you were gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like some.
Yeah, but I don't want them boys to watch the podcast like, hey, our band. Do you know what I mean? It's just. But shout out Whitty, he is an absolute couldn't have asked for a better addition to the band. Because when we started, we had you've heard of Envisions, everyone's heard of Envisions. Yeah. Josh from Envisions was our original drummer, and he decided that the band life wasn't for him, and he wanted to be a police officer. And then I can't remember what happened with that, but that didn't end up going the way that he wanted it to. And then before we could ask him to join the band, we'd already got another drummer by that point. And then he started up Envisions, which couldn't have been a better move for him because we've known Josh so many years. Josh and Envisions are literally the perfect personalities. They are all the same personality. So the fact that Josh and that band is just, that is so cool. Like, when you actually chill with them, they are all literally the same person, personality-wise, and it's just a pleasure to be around.
Have you played
shows
with
Josh? Say that again.
Have you played shows with them?
Have we played? I don't actually think we've played with Envisions yet, because it was one of them where we were in a time where we were between shows, and every time we tried to get a show with them because they'd blown up so much. It was kind of hard to get on with. But we've got Ben on a show with us, and hopefully it's something that happens in the future, but kind of like also, you know, the envision sound and the value sound, like it's very, you know, the two kind of juxtaposing sounds. So,
Yeah. So
but no, shout envisions, nothing but love to the boys.
who's the favorite band you played with? Not just for the music, but for the people as well.
Oh, that is a tough one. Favorite people that we've played with, probably again, probably Ice Nine Kills. Them guys were so fun. Like the guitar, like the guitarists were just absolutely hilarious. Every time we hung out with them, they were just a big barrel of laughs. Probably Thrones as well. Absolutely loved playing with Thrones. They're not a band anymore, but they were such good guys to tour with. It's always fun playing with On Hollow Ground. They're our G's.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to think of. It's been so long since we've actually toured with people and connected with people.
Did you play in the in-between bit, those sit-down bullshit shows at all, or was it?
No, we've not. Our last show was, I think we did a mini Scotland tour. We played like 3 shows in Scotland, and then we were like, right, we're taking a break from shows for a bit because we need to get the content for Divinity out. And we recorded 2 videos, and then the lockdown was was in place, but we managed to record one because performances were still allowed to go on as long as socially distanced. We recorded 2 videos whilst it was all up in the air, and then the third one, Patience. We had so much planned for Patience. We had so much planned for it, and then literally the day we were filming day 1 of the shots, we had 2 days booked. The day we were filming day 1 was the first day of lockdown. So the second day where we were supposed to go to London, have a cool location, it all got, you know, shut down. So we had to just make the best of what we had for Patience. And then again, same again happened with Wit with Ben, because obviously we had a song with Ben from Envision. So we were just like, we definitely need to do a video for this. There's no way we're not doing a video for this. And then COVID hit, and then it ended up proper fucking us. So we couldn't do a video for that, which we were proper wounded about, but still did all right as a single.
Yeah. I think Patience is a fucking incredible song.
Yeah, I love Patience. Probably one of my favorite off of Divinity is Patience.
Yeah, it's
because as well, I've got very heavy rap vibes and I do a full verse of bars in the beginning. So
yeah, so I don't like normally saying like a more recent release is like a favorite, because then everyone goes, you don't like any of the older stuff, but it is what it is, isn't it? Yeah. So when is your next show? Have you got anything booked?
We don't have it. It's all COVID dependent. It's all COVID dependent. Luckily, you're speaking to me, and when you said before, is there anything that I can't say? It's not that I can't say it. It's just that
it's not.
I just don't remember. I know we've got something in the pipeline for late July, but again, COVID dependent. Yeah. And also we have got, again, fingers and toes crossed. We hopefully got a tour coming up in November, but again, that's all COVID dependent. Touch wood, it's all fully booked and ready to go. I think we've got like 3 more dates that aren't booked, but again, it's just all COVID dependent. We're just waiting and seeing what happens first with COVID and how this next stage of lockdown is going to come out. And then, like I said, as soon as we know more and we can safely say, yo, these shows are happening, we're going to get them announced.
Yeah, so I'll definitely try to check out a tour date. Now I'm back to work. It's fucking madness.
Yeah, no, I completely understand, mate. Like I've worked throughout the entire of the lockdown, so I've already got.
I'm a chef, so.
Oh yeah, Bogle, our bassist and live vocalist, is he's also a chef. So yeah, I feel your pain, brother.
Yeah, so I'm on a holiday park, so like it's like I've had nothing for about a year. And then everyone's holiday that was cancelled throughout the year is now happening.
Yeah, coming back now.
Yeah. So,
Bogle's heavily involved in the writing for this new project. Like Bogle's, like you know, he's like, oh Baker, I've got these lyrics. You know, oh what about this riff idea? What about that riff idea? What if you do this? What if you do that? He was so heavily involved in it. And then since he's gone back to work last week, like he's just been off the radar. So I definitely feel it. Yeah.
It's tough not knowing when you're going to finish work, you know what I mean? So
yeah, it's just a catering industry though, isn't it? Like it's very very unpredictable. You know, you can go from having no people in whatsoever to being absolutely ham-fisted rammed within the space of an hour. So
what is the future for Values over the next year, apart from the EPs coming?
So the next year, again, that's point where what we now we just got into April, haven't we? That yeah, it will probably be about a year until that EP lands, because obviously we still need to tour. I think I said recovery then. We still need to tour Divinity. We still need to get Divinity to the end of the cycle. Like I said, we're really proud of those songs. Absolutely love them. This is probably the most engagement we've had with songs since we started as a band. So the plan for the rest of the year is, hopefully towards the end of the year, play as many shows as we can. But in the meantime, keep building our fan base, keep connecting with people, keep getting this new EP ready. And then, like I said, when it comes to the back end of the year, we're hopefully going to have a new single out, play some shows, and then next year we're going to get this new EP out, which is, again, it's just like everything that everything that the fans have loved so far off of Divinity, all encompassed into 6 songs. So
just to be like more Values, like essentially.
yeah, again, like with Divinity, like there's quite a lot of since Broken Nation, we've progressively got more and more melodic.
Yeah.
And obviously some of the fans loved it, but some of the fans were like, oh, we missed the Values breakdowns, we missed this, we missed that. And, it got to a stage as well where, because obviously, like, as I told you, from all those influences that influenced me, got to a stage where I was feeling like that as well. Like, I missed the breakdowns, missed the heavy nature to it as well. So when we've been writing this new EP, like, it's literally just an encompassment of what we all miss as a band, and plus what all the fans have been screaming out for as well since we released Divinity. So
it's not, the breakdowns are always better live, you know what I mean? Like, well, it's better to hear that breakdown Values live, I think, than the
honestly, I'm so excited to play Divinity live. Like, Temperance, the breakdown in Temperance, mate. Like, I still get as excited when we play that as when I first got showed it like 2 years ago when Danny had written it. Like, hey, Baker, what do you think to this, mate? And it just, love it. And I can't wait to play that live. I can't wait to play Patience live. I think that's another thing about lockdown that's been really a bit shitty. Like, we've not been able to play all these new songs that we've got live. It's the same with loads of them, like our friends' bands. It's like we've got all this stuff out and we've not been able to show people it live yet, because it's a totally different reaction when you play something live to listening to it behind your desk or on some headphones.
Oh, no, 100%. You know what I mean? A few bands are better live and a few bands are better on thingy. But I was speaking to Connor from Next Up Olympus, sorry to bring him up again. But their new EP has got the most love they've ever got. And he kind of put it down to that more people are listening because everyone's locked up. Because like maybe all these people wouldn't be listening to, because there's loads of people not releasing music and because of the lockdown or no live shows. So he's like kind of listening to more people are listening to him more now.
Yeah.
So he put it down to that. Do you reckon that's affected you?
Yeah, 100%. Again, because like your bigger bands, obviously, because they're at that level where they need to make the most money possible because that is their like profession, you know what I mean? So they want to release something around the time when they're touring, around the time when they've got new merch coming out, so they can make the most capital possible. Whereas smaller bands, and the bands that are trying to climb up that ladder, this is our time to shine, because we can then release this music during lockdown and people can get a feel to us. Then hopefully it pulls new fans in at the shows when we come back, and then old fans alike have been like, oh, they've really stepped up their game during lockdown. Like, let's go back and see what it's all about.
So we mentioned it a bit before we started recording, but if any of the people who listened to the last show with Connor, I mentioned I met Baker at a show in Sheffield, right? But he then said, I don't think I've ever met him before, but we'd met in solitary anyway, but whatever. But please tell us your side of the
story. so people that know me and people that don't know me, I'm not the biggest drinker in the world. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll have a few beers when it's a good occasion, get drunk and that, but me and getting drunk never really mixed very well. And so there's probably been 3 times in my life where I've been absolutely blackout drunk, don't remember shit all, right? And so I listened to that podcast last week because I got sent it, like, oh, so Next Up Olympus and the podcast dude Lewis said some positive things about it, you should check it out. So I've listened to the podcast, We got to the bit where Lewis said, "Oh, I've met the front man at a hip hop show in Sheffield. You know, proper positive guy. Said that he's in a band. Everything else they said. Go check out that last podcast if you haven't already.
Yeah.
Next Up Olympus. Fantastic guys. Really good podcast." So anyway, they said, "Oh yeah, I met the vocalist at hip hop show in Sheffield." So I've jumped in the band chat, like said some really positive things about me, but I don't think I've ever met this dude. And then they're like, "Yeah, you met him in Salisbury at the show, but do you not remember that night in Sheffield?" I'm like, "Night in Sheffield," and then they were all laughing at me. So one of the 3 times in my life where I've been blackout drunk was we all went out on a night out in Sheffield, and I drank a full bottle of Buckfast, whatever drinks at Sheffield Car, and then I did my thing of disappeared into the night, not to be seen. I don't have any recollection of like maybe 4 or 5 hours of that night. Turns out I ended up going to a hip hop show.
Yeah, in Wake, whatever it's called. I don't know what but yeah, it's not in
Madness.
the centre. Yeah.
No, I went on an absolute mission that night apparently, and then like I said, I got back and like, "Baker, you've been gone for like 4 hours. Where have you been?" You know, like.
Yeah, so because I thought I got it wrong at the beginning. I was like, "No, it definitely was in." I don't know, whatever. Yeah, but
like I said, no recollection of that night whatsoever. I just remember getting a lift home, and then as they pulled up outside, I was like passed out in the seat, and so he literally did an emergency stop and slapped me on the back of the head at the same time, and I just woke up like that. Were a quick journey. They're like, "Yeah, you passed out for the best part of 45 minutes, Baker."
Yeah, so because after the podcast with Connor, I tried to book you guys in the I got sent to management, and I didn't want to deal with management and stuff, which is my bad. But
no, it's all good. But although to be fair, like, you know, shout out Danny, shout out Tonna Toyin, Kerosene Management, like absolutely sound guys. Like, you know, sometimes it's a bit of a ball ache dealing with management, as you know, you probably know. But
yeah,
them two are proper sound guys, bro, like really are.
I've done like booking shows before. They might have just like organised it, but I just didn't want to deal with like trying to organise some sort.
No, it's all good. Again, they mainly do it because they are the most reliable people organisation-wise in the band, and so it just so happens that Danny works very close with management, and you know, I can be sometimes hard to reach. Like for instance, he sent me a message.
I was dealing with Danny. Danny texted me
yeah,
before you.
yeah, he sent me a message saying, "Right, we need to add. Just get in touch with Lewis, try to organise a podcast." And this was like 2 days before I actually got in touch with you. So just, like, you know, organise it with Danny, he'd have been like, "Right, Baker, you've got a podcast on this day. Is that okay?" And then I'd have been like, "Yeah, that's cool." Whereas, you know, you're like, "Right, sort it out yourself." And I'm like, "All right, I will."
Yeah, I don't really like doing this, like mixed communication, all that stuff. So that could be enough for today. Have you got anything else to say about the band?
No, like I said, just shout out everybody that's listening. You know, keep going strong through lockdown. Hopefully, we're coming out the other side of it now. If you're into heavy tunes, check out Values on Spotify. Check us out on Instagram. Divinity is out now. Go stream that. Lewis, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
You've got an
there's
sick
one
podcast,
final
mate. It's really
question,
good chatting with you, man.
I really appreciate it, man. I really do. But there's one final question.
Anytime, bro. Anytime at all, bro.
I ask everybody in the new series. This is the new series now. How do you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as that guy that you go to a show and he just looks like the happiest guy there. That's how I want to be remembered. I live my life in a positive way. Whenever I'm at a show, I am full of pleases, thank yous. I'm just a positive guy because that's me. I don't like negativity. I really feel that, you know, life has already got far too much negativity in it, and shows should be an escapism from that. Therefore, if you come to a show and you don't see me smiling, you won't, basically.
Yeah, you're not at the right show.
Yeah, exactly. I absolutely love it. I love interacting with people. I love playing music, and just my ethos in life is to just be as positive and as happy as possible. Because if other people see you happy, they're going to be happy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, man. I really appreciate you coming on.
Anytime, bro. Anytime.
One of my favorite bands at this level. Please, everyone, go check them out. The links will be down below. Values. My name's Louis. This is Baker. Thank you very much.
Peace and love.